So, I got a bit hung up playing Ghost of Tsushima as well as work, and I realized I did not have anything planned for this week. I know, terrible, terrible, I know. But to be fair, Ghost of Tsushima is a really good game. Like, oh my god. And so I thought maybe I should take the week off and get some writing done and work on another project that's been in the back of my mind for a while. But I thought, well, that's not really an excuse. So let's start another project that we've been thinking of doing, which we haven't really had a lot of time to do lately because of another series we're doing related to it, which is us talking about Big Finish and some really great Doctor Who audios. The reason I haven't been willing to do this just yet is because, well, with my Doctor Who retrospective series where I go over a different incarnation of the Doctor, I didn't quite want to spoil it, but I thought, yeah, screw it. Let's do something at least fun. So we're going to talk about the first actual audio, the first Doctor Who audio, Sirens of Time. So Sirens of Time is an interesting audio that looking back on it, I like more because of everything in it over the story itself. In other words, everything individually is great, but when you put it all together, it just sort of doesn't quite mesh. And that makes sense. This is technically, I think officially, the first Doctor Who audio Big Finish will release. And it's written and directed by Nicholas Briggs, who is one of the, I believe, the executive producers of Big Finish. So he's one of the people at the forefront. And he also voices the Daleks, like, a lot. So this story is about beings called the Sirens, and what they do is they feed off of paradoxes, or rather time distortions. And what they do here is they trick the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors in creating paradoxes in an attempt to feed off those time distortions. And they use the one thing neither Doctor could resist: a person in trouble. So while Peter, Colin, Sylvester, and everyone else do a great performance, the story at times feels a bit scattered with how the Doctors all come together, which is what we're all really waiting for more than anything. I mean, like, a multi-Doctor story is okay. It's your premise is cool, but we're all here for one thing. We're here to see these different characters, these different actors, uh, take their take on the same character and put it against each other. That's really it. That's what makes Role of the Doctors so great, because you can't do that with anything else. And I think Day of the Doctor and the Five Doctors do this a bit better, and I think it highlights that for multiple Doctors, great care is needed to craft a story, compared to, say, another audio, Light of the End, which more than anything used the Doctor meeting only a little and was more just about the companions like Charlie, Leela, Ace, and even Perry seeing other incarnations of the Doctor. That was a bit more interesting than any potential interactions they would have had. My biggest problem with Sirens is that it is about the mystery and less about any particular fun interactions. It also feels like it's trying to be more about the Sixth Doctor, who does sort of steal the spotlight at the end. And considering that Colin was the first one brought to Big Finish, according to my information, could have been um, Paul McGann. But that makes sense. Most multi-Doctor stories are more about specific incarnations. Three Doctors is about the Third Doctor. The audio Cold Fusion is about the Fifth Doctor. Light at the End is about the Eighth and Fourth Doctors. Essentially, they get like the most screen time. Time Crash about the 10th Doctor. Twice Upon a Time is about the 12th Doctor. And Day is about the 11th Doctor, oddly enough. So the most standout thing about this audio for me that wasn't the Doctors was Vansel Ostafasius of the Celestial Intervention Agency. And we'll be hearing about him quite a bit. He's a really, really interesting character. He's a really fun character, but he's kind of despicable. For those of you that don't know, the Celestial Intervention Agency is the CIA of Doctor Who. It's the CIA for Gallifrey. And, yeah, I think that's all I need to tell you about how shady that can be. So anyway, I recommend giving Sirens a time and listen to. I think the Sirens are an interesting villain for some people. Didn't quite mesh with me, but it's also really great to see where Big Finish is going to go from here. This is like the point. This is the Unearthly Child story. So you should always give the first story, the first issue, a chance. And it's a fun experience. There's some really fun interactions between the Doctors, which I think is the main reason anyone should listen to a multi-Doctor story, is for those interactions. And yeah, so with that, I would bring this video to close here. If you do the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.